Greetings, friends. I am Vitaly Portnikov. The Prime Minister of the Cook Islands, Mark Brown, promised to reassure New Zealand after his return from China. The head of the Cook Islands government visited China on a 5-day state visit and signed an agreement in Harbin to expand cooperation. And about the comprehensive strategic partnership with the Prime Minister of China, Li Qiang. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Christopher Luxon, informed the media that his government had not seen this agreement and cannot comment on its content. We would like to see these documents and then talk with the Cook Islands government, emphasized the Prime Minister of New Zealand. It should be reminded that the Cook Islands are a self-governing territory associated with New Zealand, and according to the relations between the two countries, the Cook Islands have delegated to New Zealand the authority to conduct their own foreign policy as well as military defense. This, however, did not prevent the Prime Minister of the Cook Islands from signing a significant agreement with Beijing. The very fact that China is willing to sign agreements not only with independent states, but even with self-governing territories, once again highlights how important it is for the Chinese leadership to expand its influence in the Pacific. While politicians in the West make speeches and give promises, in Beijing they are working quite systematically on investments for the Asia-Pacific countries, on their own political presence, on the real increase of their political and media capabilities in countries important to China. Many believe that now, when American aid to civil society and media in China, this is not only for China but for everyone. In the Asia-Pacific, countries will be significantly reduced or disappear altogether. The People's Republic of China can quite possibly take the place vacated by the United States. The story with the signing of the strategic partnership agreement with the Cook Islands. This is a completely unique case, because if the leadership of China establishes a trusting relationship with the governments of independent states in the Asia-Pacific region, this is one thing. But when it comes to a strategic partnership with a self-governing territory linked to New Zealand, this is a completely different approach to the issue. This is a willingness to ignore the geopolitical interests of New Zealand and possibly Australia in order to strengthen its own influence. And we perfectly understand that if China has opportunities for strategic partnership with the Cook Islands, then its influence on New Zealand could also increase. China's influence as a more important investor, importing the region. But besides the economy, there are also issues of political and military influence, which the Chinese are also trying to increase in the region every day. And this is, of course, an open challenge. A challenge to both the United States and their allies in the region. And the fact that the government of the Cook Islands even did not deem it necessary to inform the New Zealand government about the contents of the agreement that was signed in Harbin also speaks volumes. Island nations no longer believe that the countries they have relied on for centuries play a decisive role in their future development and geopolitical choices. It is evident that the Prime Minister of the Cook Islands is simply confident that New Zealand cannot interfere with his decision regarding strengthening cooperation with the People's Republic of China and cannot influence them. And by the way, this is not just about some declarations. It is also about important natural resources and minerals, which are of interest to the People's Republic of China, as well as incidentally, to the United States, Australia, and New Zealand. And of course, the one who will be the first to negotiate their participation in the extraction of these resources will also gain a significant geopolitical and economic advantage in the region. Therefore, one can speak of Beijing's systematic efforts and its interest in ensuring that the Asia-Pacific region increasingly depends primarily on Chinese political influence and also on Chinese investments. This is an important test of the ability of countries that have traditionally exerted influence in the region to stand up for their interests. And here, of course, it is clear that Australia and New Zealand are unlikely to claim any decisive role if the United States withdraws from the region, if Washington does not exert real influence on what is happening in the Asia-Pacific countries if support is not provided to civil society and media, capable of conveying realistic information about the balance of power and values. If there are no humanitarian projects supporting the poorest segments of the population in the Asia-Pacific countries, all of this will automatically help China strengthen its influence, even in places where, as they say, it was not expected. And if agreements with countries like the Solomon Islands can be perceived as a natural course of events, when one of the states gains political preferences over another during interactions with a particular political class, then the story with the Cook Islands is a much more, I would say, serious and significant intervention in the very fabric of traditional relations in the region. It is evident, Desi, that New Zealand did not expect such an unconventional move from either China or the islands. Cook, and now they are simply trying to understand how to practically respond to this strategic partnership between their own associated Wadi territory and a powerful state not far from the shores of the Cook Islands and New Zealand itself. Thank you, friends. Subscribe to this channel, support it. Good luck to you.